fifth graders, really, you probably should stop doing that, because all these times you'll be standing outside the wall room, because don't just yell things out. I'm not a big fan of the yelling. Under division there, please put division, we're talking about with remainders now. With remainders. And in the real world, you will just do remainders for a little while in your mathematical life, because after that, remainders really don't mean anything in the real world. I can't give you, you can't give me 5 remainder $3. There's no such thing, really. But for right now, it's what we're going to do when things don't work out evenly. When division problems don't work out evenly. For right now, when division don't work out, for right now, you are allowed to have remainders. Okay? For example, and they start you out very easily, if you do 9 divided into 50, how many times does 9, what's the most times 9 will go into 50, to which Kayleen would say what? 9 times what is close to 50, but not over.
Wait.
9 times what is close to 50?
5.
Okay. Kayleen says 5, I agree. 9 times 5 is 45. You subtract. Okay, you have this 5 that's left over down there. And unfortunately, that you can't do anything with that. So this down here is our remainder, and you can put a little r or a capital R, however you do it. 5 remainder 5. And that'll be fine. I don't know how long we'll go with just remainders. After that, we either do decimals or fractions or whatever. But for right now, that is as much as you're going to do. Another couple examples would be this one, 4 into 23. How many times will 4 go into 23? Madison says, okay, because 4 times 5 is 20. And when you do your subtracting from there, you're left with 3 left over. By the way, 5th graders, please make sure you know this number down here after you get done subtracted can never be bigger than the number you're dividing into. For example, if I subtracted and ended up with a 5 down here, that would not be a good thing. Why? Maggie?
Because it's higher than.
And that means that this number could have gone into that one more time. Okay, so you always want to make sure after you subtract that this number is smaller than that number, and then when you're done subtracting, it's your remainder 3. Okay, now, in the case of story problems though, write down this problem here. At an amusement park, 16 people are waiting for a ride. I don't know what amusement park that is, but to only have 16 people waiting in the amusement. Each boat, B-O-A-T, holds 6 people. A couple questions here. Question number one is, what is the least number of boats needed? What is the least number of boats needed for all the people to get a ride? That's a question. Question number 2 is, if 2 boats arrive, how many people will have to wait? If 2 boats arrive, how many will have to wait? And question number 3, if 3 boats arrive at the loading dock, how many boats can be completely filled? How many can be filled, completely filled? So let's think about this. The answer to the first question, if you could take 6 people in a boat, and there are 16 people waiting for a ride, how many boats, what's the least amount of boats that you'll have to take all those people? By the way, this is a division problem, right? So if I divide 6 into 16, if 6 people can ride on a boat and I have 16 people, what do I get when I divide 6 into 16? How many times does 6 actually go into 16, Ryan?
Twice.
Twice. Now, here's what that means, though, and this is what I was talking about, okay? If 2 boats come, if I have 2 boats, okay, and each boat holds 6 people, that means 12 people will be able to ride, and there's going to be 4 people left over. Okay, 4 people standing there not getting a ride. So this is one of those cases where I said, well, you can't have a remainder 4 of a boat. Okay, there's no such thing. So how many boats do I need? 2 boats are going to be full, but I got still 4 people. What's going to have to happen? In order for those 4 people to get over there or get the ride, there's going to have to be, Brooke?
3 boats.
Yeah, you're going to have that extra boat. It won't be full, but you're going to need 3 boats. So the answer to the first one is 3. Even though when you did the division you came up with 2, okay, because there's no such thing as a remainder 4 of a boat, okay, you have to say, well, I'm going to need 3 boats and the 3rd boat's not going to be filled. That's just what you have to use common sense when you do some of these problems here. Number 2 said, if 2 boats arrive, how many people will have to wait? We already answered that. If 2 boats came, how many people would have to be sitting there going, man, I wish I had another boat? Taylor?
6.
If 2 boats arrived, how many people are left over, Taylor?
4.
4 people. If 3 boats arrived, how many full boats will there be? We already talked about that. If 3 boats arrive, how many full boats, Landon?
2.
Right, you'll have 2 full boats, and only 4 of the 6 places will be on that other one. And that's what you have to do when you see division problems. You have to think about it and make sure it makes sense when you answer. You can't say there are remainder or whatever. Here's another example. One more, and then I'll let you get going. 50 cards. 50 trading cards. I don't know if anybody does trading cards anymore. 50 trading cards are to be placed. 50 trading cards are to be placed in protective pages. In other words, you're making a book of these things. Does anybody do baseball cards or anything? You put them in a book and put plastic over them so they don't get hurt or anything, or you just have stacks? Huh? Sleeves or whatever they are, sure. Each page of the book holds 8 cards. Each page of the book holds 8 cards. How many pages can be filled? How many pages will be filled? I guess your question mark. And how many pages will you need? Okay, so this again is talking about putting in groups of 8. If you have 50 cards, and you can put 8 on every page, how many pages will you fill? If you take 50 and separate them into groups of 8, how many pages? How many times does 8 go into 50? Madison?
6.
Right, so you're going to get 6 full pages, right? But what happens is you have then how many leftover cards just sitting there? You're going to have 2 left over. What do you do with those 2? Just say sorry?
No.
Well, you could, but that'd be kind of bad, because that might be the Mickey Mantle or the Babe Ruth that's worth $1 billion. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, no.
Okay, you'll get 6 full pages. That's the answer to the question, the first question. How many pages though will you actually need? Okay, you'll get 6 full pages, but you'll need a 7th page that will just have 2 cards in it. So you'll need 7 total pages, but only 6 of them will be full. And you gotta love story problems. Any questions or problem with that? Again, it's all a little bit about thinking. Perfect.